Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota and Garden in a Zone 4B, and just taking on another Sunday morning garden stroll. I got my front containers planted up. I'm loving it. Very simple. They will fill out. If you want to know the varieties, just let me know. Like I said, they're very simple compared to some of the videos that are out there, so they're not that instant gratification. And the mosquitoes are horrible. So I will try and give you as good of a video as I can without getting eaten alive. They're all the same, along with these that are planted up too. I will be getting rid of the tulips here. They won't come back. They do not, if you want to say, naturalize. I'll just plant new in the fall, possibly. Daffodils I will leave. They will come back year after year. This tree still smells really good. It's been so windy, so I hope the bees have found this to pollinate it. They'll get like these little red seed pods and looks really, really cool. Pulmonium and Jacob's Ladder looks great. Very tall over here. And the bees do like this. Goat's beard looks great, not blooming yet. Sun King Aralias are filling in nicely. I do have to trim up the black lace. It's hitting the house. I'm debating if I want to leave these Heucheras or if I want to move them. I know the Siberian cypress here is getting a bit bigger. I think it's doing okay. It looks good. And just repeated. Same is blooming over here. Oh, they're in my hair. I even left my hair down so they wouldn't get my neck and ears. Nepeta still blooming. This is just one I grew from seed. And then I do have some alliums back there. But there is nothing yet on the dianthus. The hardy geranium there is. This is Max Frey. That's really pretty down there. I just saw that. Kind of a magenta bloom. And then Aquilegia. And then I did have a viewer ask about my Heuchera in a lot more sun. There are some varieties that can take it, and there are some that cannot. So you will see there's scorching on here. So this is Spellbound. That's one that would prefer less sun. Across the Regal. Gorgeous. One of my favorites. Upright ones. Along with Curly Fries Hosta here. Still working in this garden. I am just moving. These are all leaves, and it's so wet. I just have to get that to dry out just a little bit. This Heuchera is gorgeous. I find the ones I start from seed can take more sun. Like the Melting Fire Coral Bells, that variety I don't know, it was just in a mix. Palace Purple can take a little bit more, but then I don't think it's quite as pretty with more sun on it. This one is Spearmint. I bought this one, and I think this would like a little less because of the leaves. Those blooms are gorgeous. I might even cut some of these for some cut flowers. I love the upright. I do have a smoke bush in there. teeny tiny. I think it's pretty. I might even train it into a tree form. It can stay there. It was a holding spot for the time being. These also are ones I started. They're ugly. Oh, I've never let them bloom because they're so tall, but maybe I will. These are starting to bloom over here. I think they're a type of iris. I just don't know for sure. And I'm sorry, I can't get closer than this. There's something wrong with my wand or whatever you want to call it. I still have this one. This is the last container to plant. It just looks so great. But I just have the plants waiting. Just all plants that I started from seed. Most of these containers are planted with plants I started from seed. I would say I probably only spend about $125 on plants total for the containers. Goat spirit. Looks gorgeous. I moved this over here because this was just getting crowded out, that big container by the hostas. So I'll like this. I did buy this. All those begonias. Some in substance. I'm just standing here for just a little bit because mosquitoes are really bad. So yeah, I know I'll like this a lot better. That container though, that big container, is 50 pounds empty, at least 50 pounds. So I rolled it all the way to the back. I reuse most potting mix. That being said, I probably spent more on potting mix this year than plants. Isn't that crazy? Bridal Falls hosta. Brunera is still looking good. I'll leave it for the time being. It's a little wispy. My sumac is finally taller than me. I'm so happy to see that. I'm hoping at some point it gets to not quite the peak of the house, but sweet woodruff, awesome ground cover, pretty easy to control. Same with the juga. I moved a hosta here in my turtle planter. I will put it somewhere later on in the season. Not sure where. I'll have to think on that. This is a GM, and I mean, they're pretty, but the head's not on this one, so you really can't see the flowers. But it liked it better over here than in my cottage garden. Over there it just struggled, so I don't know. It does look out of place over here, but it's really pretty. Hostas are really filling in. They're loving the rain. Maybe not the wind so much. I planted more hostas in here, just kind of like a holding area. You can see that straggly one there. And then I have a few others, just same variety. That is Dancing Queen. Oh, no. One Last Dance. So this is where I turned the bench a little bit because I wanted to leave this open so for the path back here, where I put the big pot. I just planted up with some hostas and ferns, and especially ones that were more on the struggle bus. So, but I did move some more hostas back here, and this blue one was from around my kennel. This one back here is One Last Dance. That one was reverting back to the mother plant, which is Dancing Queen, which is absolutely glorious, but I'll show you. So I had to pretty much get it back to bare root, and then so that's how much of the reversion was taken over. And you can't just chop it off. You have to get all the roots. So that's why that's a nice size clump when you think that came from that plant. So I thought that color over here will look gorgeous. This is a pretty new hosta bed. Not these, but everything kind of in the front here. Although this is one of my favorite. I love the thin leaf ones. This is Silly String. And then that is Kinky Boots. Really like that. It's got a little white on the edge. I used to have a lot of shade. That's why I have so many hostas. They don't mind, this doesn't mind it over here with a little bit of sun. It will scorch later on in the season. I just think over there with it bouncing off the siding, that's why I'm getting a lot of scorching. I think it would, especially with the rain we've had this year, I think hostas love a lot of water. You want big hostas, you give them a lot of water. And honestly, a rainwater, such a huge difference. Love this one. Lemony Lace Elderberry. Oh, it's gonna hit some. Oh, I just bend over and they swarm my face. This Japanese painted fern looks really good down here. Like marmalade here. This one heaved. Both of them heaved. But looking pretty good. This can take more sun. Humpback whale just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like, it's like, and this one did too, but looking good, and it looks like it's gonna flower down there. I think those colors with the blue in there looks fantastic with that kind of mustard orange look. This is I think a spilled wine, Weigela. I don't know if it's gonna bloom, and I honestly don't care. I just have it here for the foliage. This Astilbe looks good. Lots of buds on that. I mean, lots for such a tiny little plant. So I did move one here, one of my pansy baskets. I think it looks great. And you can see that's where I put another piece. So I actually got a lot from that plant. I just have to come in here, get that trimmed up, put some more mulch down. I'm just gonna zoom in as much as I can here. And then in this planter here, I put another hosta. It was by the side of the house over there that gets a lot of sun. And I've just been moving more hostas from there into this area. I hate moving them so much because every time you move a plant, you set it back in its growth cycle. So it's just this one right here, I just had it. But again, I love how it's upright. That one gets massive. It is gonna eventually have to be moved. I would say in a couple years, but I just, like I said, it sets it back. My irises are budding up so nicely. Do you see all those buds? I've never had this many. So the only thing I use in my gardens for fertilizer is chicken manure pellets for everything. The cottage garden I go a little lighter on because most of that doesn't need a whole lot of fertilizer. But yeah, I just chuck it in there. Camassias are going over. I'll come back to that area over there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to the back garden. We'll see how I am handling the bugs. Party streamers, hosta. This is its second year here, so they're filling out really nicely. Godzilla fern back there is gorgeous. I have two of them. So, kind of. And just that daylily there. Again, I'm still thinking about it. I think it's okay. It's kind of giving stuff some shade. This is a pagoda dogwood, golden shadows, pushing out new foliage. But beautiful blooms. Anthos valerian is getting ready to bloom here. This is gonna be wonderful. I think it has a really good smell, but then my sister can't smell it. So I'm not sure what that's about. And usually she's the one who is sensitive to all scents. That one's just beautiful. So I put one here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe this will stay a little shorter this year. Okay. Get a move on, Susie. This is... Put one here. And then one over here, and that one was back there. So this Floral is looking so good. Pushing out new foliage here. Okay, not walking in there. So yeah, this will stay here as long as it looks good. Once it's done, they're just in these, I forget what they're called. They're really light. So, and then I'll figure something out. I love this with the lettuce here. I do have a Baptisia back there. I'm sorry, I'll see if I can, I don't know here. Can you see them all swarming me? Yeah, my pants are wet too, and that doesn't. Maybe not, but they are lovely, lovely mosquitoes. Oh, I didn't turn the lights off on my kennel. I have those rope lights. I love it at night. It just keeps the bugs over there. This looks really good. These poppies are filling out really nicely. Snapdragons are starting to get blooms. I still have to figure out a staking system. I just right now, isn't this gorgeous? Black Knight Scabiosa. I'm just using a red twig dogwood here. These were my winter containers. It's just really tall. I didn't have my pruners out to clip it. Look, this is so cool. Frosted explosion grass. I'm working with all the compost bins back here. One of my main goals is to at least get 3 of these bins emptied, because I did that last year, and I'm gonna need it at the end of the season. This is pink senorita, a zinnia, along with lots of alliums. Clematis is just, it's the year for clematis. They're just beasts. Oh, I didn't show you Henry over there. Shoot. This one, I have to figure out how to get it back down without breaking it. Got Sun Kings. Gorgeous. More ajuga, which looks fantastic. I had a lot. I mean, I had 4 clumps, but this one really spreads nicely. I moved one of the hostas over here. There's kind of an empty spot. There was a hosta there. It was just very little, so that's in that fire pit. Honeysuckle is starting, but it's loaded in buds. It doesn't have a scent though. Oh, look, that one is. All the 9 barks have buds on them. Not quite starting yet. It's funny, you keep blowing mosquitoes off yourself, and yet I read you shouldn't do that because it just attracts them more, but I can't help it. Oh, I think, oh yeah, there's some status over here. That's got some flower heads forming. It's just, oh, this Scabiosa is gorgeous. That color is so intense. I mean, I can't help. I'm leaving it though because I don't have anything else to really pick at the moment. I could lupins, but they kind of bend towards the light, which is kind of cool, but I prefer them out here. I have 3 plants here, so they're all got a little different look, more pink, some darker, and then that one is gorgeous. I'm just gonna show you this real quick before I could forget. Nellie Moser, I was just covered. Look at all the buds. And then all the way down here. Loving the allium still. I have some planted down here. I just don't remember what kind because they're obviously later and shorter. So maybe they're a bigger variety. I just don't remember planting that. I mean, I remember planting them here. I thought they were all the same, Purple Sensation. Another one, I think this is really pretty. It's got a coral color to it. That's just one plant there. And then there's 2 purple ones here. So this one looks like this, but I love that one. And then this monster of a delphinium, just starting. It's a little bit lower, but it will be getting taller here. Ito peony is being smothered by it, so this is Julia Rose. I got this all planted up, straw flowers, and then some annual rudbeckias. It actually has a bud forming. I do have more, I'm running out of space. Have this set up. I'm gonna have a zucchini here. It's called Rise and Shine. It's supposed to, you can train it to go up. I'm gonna have some climbing beans here. I haven't planted them yet. That's one of the goals for today. Hope the wind picks up. Now I want it windy. These are one of my seed dahlias. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. And then perennial baby's breath. This is just a trailer or a creeper, if I can. So dainty. So a sweet Annie is in here. And Cosmos, a fizzy white. And then I have to water this over here. They're getting pretty dry. And if you're wondering why I have it in containers, it's because I started it in my garage for a while and then put them out here. That one's ready. That one's a nice size kohlrabi. So I have lots of weeding to do. It's just been so wet, and normally I just scrape the weeds off and let them fry. But honestly, they'd probably reroot. Because, I mean, look at my pants. Oh, I want to show you. So look at the shallots. How cool is that? I mean, most of them are doing pretty good. I've got 2 right there for some reason that aren't doing so hot, but the rest are looking great. I love onion and I love garlic, but I've never tasted a shallot, so I wanted to see it. Some of the recipes I've been trying call for it, so they're not cheap, but I want to see how I like it. Tomatoes look good. I mean, we've been pretty cool. I don't think we've gotten much over 70s right now, and the mornings have been, yesterday I think it was 45, 46. Look. I feel bad because this is one of my favorite ones. I'm just happy it's coming back, but it's just this delphinium. This is a Pacific Giant, just one plant. I'm like, I can't even get my arms around it. So much in this garden that I started from seed. It makes me super happy. Baptisia is looking good. It will get huge. Don't let this fool you. At some point I will have to have a bigger, I just do the support. You won't see it, but otherwise it just won't flop. And they do tend to flop no matter what, even if they're in full sun or not. I have some delphiniums in here that look okay. And then some, they did this last year too. Oh, that was on, that had blood. But they just get curly leaves. But trying to get in there and take care of that is a bit of an issue. This rose looks fantastic here. I do have 3 of them. and I'm very sorry this did not last long. The day that I had showed you it was like in budding form, just starting, one opened that day and the rest followed suit, and then we had all that rain. Beautiful tree peony they are, but the petals are so short-lived. But then it's a pretty plant after that. And that's the final one. I had 5. Oh, bloomering lilac is amazing. I don't think it's supposed to get this big. I picked it because it's supposed to be a little bit smaller, but I'm loving the height here. Just some petunias I started from seed, and this rose is looking good. This is just one on this side, and this is in the way here. I have to duck. Once it's done blooming, I will cut it. I don't have the heart to cut those buds off. This is a Veronica when I started from seed. This huge clump, that clump, and then that clump. Of course, more alliums. I gotta love them. They do seed all over the place, but the foliage, but it does die. So these grasses are just starting. This is Deschampsia cespitosa. So this is a taller variety. It does like not like boggy soil, but just, it doesn't like drought. Let's just put it that way. Or maybe this is more Veronica over here. I'm just seeing the leaves. Yeah, it looks like it. So problem is when you start plants from seed, they're going to self-seed. So you just have to be on top of that and be aware that yes, it's going to happen. And I love it. It's free plants. Look, it's doing good. And then it does have a couple buds on it, so it is bouncing back. This is a William Baffin climbing rose. A drought 3 years in a row has just taken its toll on some of these plants. It's gonna put on a show here, that's for sure. Look at the mild winter. I said it more like a zone 5, 6. It had been more like a 6, 7. Now that I think about it, we had one night that dipped to like -11 Fahrenheit. Otherwise, that was it. We were in pretty much teens, 20s, 30s, above freeze. It was just, so it's kind of nice gardening in a mild climate for once. The scent of a lilac is gorgeous. My sister can't handle that. So the one over there was bloomerang. This one is just I think a dwarf Korean lilac. A little pinker in bloom. Again, it's not supposed to get this tall, but I'm not the best pruner. Let's just put it that way. And I'm okay with that. And this is Miss Kim just starting. It's so glorious to be out here right now with the scent amongst the stupid mosquitoes. Hydrangeas are looking pretty good. I just have to get in here and clean this up. More perennials I started from seed. Plants. This is kind of like a holding area. I'm getting close to hopefully being done. Nicotiana that I really want to find a spot for. It smells fantastic. More petunias down here. I have 3 of them. I don't know what to do with them. But I hate getting rid of them when they look so fantastic. I do have a pelargonium over here. It's in a little more shade and it's budding up just beautifully. Here, I'll even show you. So, I'm not saying give them shade, but a little bit. They seem to, especially the ones that I start from seed, they do just fine. And then more over here, just some dahlias that are taking their sweet time. And they don't like the cool. They were outside, so when it rained, they got wet. And I really don't like that because they have a tendency to rot. Look, I did buy this. This is where's the tape? It's supposed to have a scent, and I think it's just whenever it warms up. And you'll get a scent on the male flowers here, which are the big, showy ones. It's not the single ones from what I read. Iconia Sentiment Peachy Keen. Isn't that beautiful? If they had this in a smaller container, I put this plastic container right into this terracotta pot. I love terracotta. They're cheap. But otherwise, they weren't just selling this individually, like little 4-packs. Oregano. This is ornamental. I'm just going to plant this with my pelargoniums around the fence. And now that I put the two together, I don't know how I'm caring for it, but at this point, it is what it is. I'm not buying, unless if an annual is absolutely the most spectacular thing I've ever seen. Like, this is gorgeous. I'm not buying anymore. Or I have to wait till the end of June when they have them, usually a buck a piece. This is going to be going into that corner container. This is a bronze leaf fennel. Look, not all of it, but apparently it's like a host plant for butterflies, which I'm hoping I can see. And then Alternanthera, purple prince. These are more dahlias that have to be planted. They're doing really good. These are my seed ones. I have 2 more over here. So I had 6 that made it. I really want to see what those look like because the 3 that have bloomed so far have all been different. This is Limon Telenum that's going to be going with this, along with some Celine Sabella white. It's a trailer, and then of course more salmon colored. They're all the same. Cutting flower area. This is one of my seed dahlias, very bright colored. And then this one I just trimmed yesterday. It's a little more red. Oh, I love it. Kind of a pinwheel look. A neighbor bought me the eucalyptus back there, so I did have some more Sweet Annie in there, but I didn't know where to plant this, and I thought they bought it for me, so that trumps the Sweet Annie. Then the grasses, I just needed more of a filler plant. I love flowers, but I also like greenery in there or some sort of rest. Sweet peas are looking pretty good down here. Taking a little bit. I did plant these salvias here. This is Blue Monday sage or salvia. It's different, but I read, I don't even remember when or where, that salvias are a good companion plant with roses. They just kind of help keep certain, I don't know, pests away. Don't quote me on that, but I didn't have any other spot for it, so I thought, sure. I wanted to plant one right here, but considering how big this got in a tiny container, I think I'll like the space. And then this rose, first year rose, well, this is Litchfield Angel. It'll take a bit for it to fill in. And yeah, this is where I'm going to be planting my oregano. Probably just, boom, right in the middle. I don't have enough to do 4 in each one. I would need 40 plants. I think I only have 31. This is where I dug up hostas. I'm giving some to the neighbor who bought me those 2 plants back there. The Aquilegia here, I started from seed. I don't remember the variety, but man, they're gorgeous and long bloomers. I'm Bevan's variety, geranium. My favorite. This is the fernleaf peony. Looks pretty horrible, doesn't it? I gotta get in there, trim that, and then support that. Yeah, it's not too pretty now. I have to show you this. Look at that. That hitched a ride with a friend who gave me the peony. I'm very happy about that. So dainty. Another Aquilegia. Here. Look. And this is why I'm always in jeans in the garden. And Sonia is getting ready. Hey, look. I think that's going to be a foxglove that's seeded. Cool. Can't wait. This I'm going to be moving. It's gorgeous. Yarrow is starting to put on its flower heads back there. Oh, and here, that's right. I did move one a little bit closer. I just have to figure out how to get out of here. And then that way, moving this will give me some room with those roses there. Sorry, I'll zoom out. Sometimes I forget. I do have some nicotiana in here, and it's blooming. I think this is called watercolors. So, and look at this peony here. This is going to be glorious. I know I should get in there and like debud the side ones so the blooms are bigger, but I don't know. I think they're big enough. More the merrier. Oh, I love this. And I like the height here. It's just kind of breaks up the, I don't know. I just like different layers in a garden. And then the Strantia down here. I'm tempted to move that one to a different area. That just looks different, doesn't it? Like the size of the leaves, the shininess, and then versus this one. And then, so this is Georgia Peach. So I did get this just because my sun's situation is just changed. And it says sun or shade. So that's why I try and look for that if I can. That way I'm kind of got a little more chance at being successful. It's gorgeous. And I like that. So yeah, so that was a blue hosta. Yeah, I put that one in the back there. That big one is back by the honeysuckle. Oh, I do have Gomphrena down here too. It's Audrey White. I have it in the other one also, just kind of repeating. This is Queen of Sweden here. It's more of an upright one, so we'll see. And then I think this is just really unique. It's nothing spectacular, but there's just something about it. Dainty. And honestly, I saw hummingbirds by it, and that was enough to make me plant it. They're doing good. I mean, they are. I have ants. Like, so they're nice and sturdy, the cosmos. I just hope to see some bloom soon. I don't have much fertilizer in there. I do have some, just to give it some food. But the rabbits like the Gomphrena too. So I'm just leaving it, and hopefully it'll rebound. Maybe it's telling me that, you know, I shouldn't have planted 4. I should have 5 here, because God forbid if you know, don't plant in even numbers or odd numbers. But I only have 2 salvias, so it'll be okay. If not, I might have to move that one over anyway, because the Alchemilla moss will get big. 2 more hostas that I moved. This is where One Last Dance was. That one just would get scorched, so that's a perfect spot for it. And then this hardy geranium is blooming over here, Biokovo. Very dainty. The foliage stays pretty low like this. It's definitely a spreader. This one looked the best at the start of the season. And so that the other ones are a little bit behind, but they are filling in nicely. So yeah, in this container right here, this is, I mean, it looks so good. Would you get rid of it at this time? I feel that the weather's still nice and cool. The other plants still are doing good in those containers, as long as I keep up on the watering. But it's just, I think it's gorgeous still. This bed here is going to be getting a lot of the dahlias. Just the one kind that's doing really good, that's called Waltzing Matilda. So, Bridal Falls Hall, oh, I love that one. I used to have 4 kind of at the points of the kennel, and I just got flooded so long that I just moved them, and then I'm down to, I think I have another one that's struggling where it's at. There's just certain areas in my gardens that most plants struggle. I don't know if it's like a hot spot. Alchemilla mollis, I have a lot of that because it does so good. Okay, so we survived the mosquitoes. And I was able to film everything. let me know if you have any questions about anything that I'm growing. I mean, I felt that this was more cottagey leading up to this area, so the hostas just didn't fit over here. And I want to plant a bigger shrub here. So I'm still thinking, because it can tolerate a little more wet soil, hardy hibiscus. Don't know yet. I didn't want to do another hydrangea because I have so many. Nothing wrong with them, but I don't know. And I know this isn't always going to be here. I mean, nothing gets big the first couple, 3 years. I really like those salvias. Like I said, it's really, you just see the purple on top. I don't know. I'm kind of a quirky person, so just like I put tall in the front, and I wanted to show you the other hardy hibiscus I have. Because they usually say if they're not up by Father's Day, then they're dead. But they are definitely up and thriving with the weeds around it too. How did I get a blood sorrel seed down there? What the heck? So yeah, so it looks good. Oh, I do have some more baby's breath here too, along with the taller variety. I'm thinking I'm going to put my seed dahlias there when the alliums are done. And this is just Calamintha white. It's loving its life. It's in the rock, and it's seeded all over the place. And all I go is, woohoo, free plants. And then this is Story Night hibiscus. So they are all up. Oh, I did miss one. Let's go check it out. That dahlia over there is really pretty. There's just something about it. But I like orange and coral and peach, so I really like that one. It is. Slowly. That's a red one. I don't know the name. It's not Holy Grail. It's just not a proven winners. I can't afford proven winners this year. Even last year, their annuals are $10 a piece. I didn't know. They're nice plants, but I mean, if you want to spend $10 for an annual, go ahead. But when they're getting close to the price of a perennial, yeah. I'm so happy I grew so much from seed this year. I always say that, but this year for sure. I did spend more on potting mix. I will reuse that potting mix. I know you're not supposed to do that either, but there's nothing really special in potting mix. So, I mean, really not. It's just bark, perlite, peat. I know a lot of you are peat free. I wish I could be too, but it's really hard to find that. And then I just add slow release fertilizer and maybe top dress with a little compost, but even the compost is like $4 a bag, so nothing spectacular. I really don't want to go broke gardening, which is so easy to do, but at least I can do a little bit more if I can stretch that budget a little farther. And then yeah, so that spent potting mix, because these terracotta pots can't last my winters with potting mix in it, they'll crack. So I'll just put in those raised beds and then reuse it next year. Believe me, bugs are going to find your stuff no matter what, whether it's new potting mix or not. As long as you didn't have a diseased plant in there. If you had a diseased plant, then I would say don't reuse it. Can't wait. Oh, I suppose I didn't show you the celosia here. I'm just I have more over there by the rain barrel. I don't know, I keep going back and forth and keep taking out what I like and don't like and really want to see. So I wish the sun was out, because the bees, this is tricky. They really like this, but it's so fun to watch. They really like the hardy geraniums. All right, so hopefully enjoyed, and bye for now.